Well, hello and welcome to the Occam's Razor YouTube channel. It's not very much light in here today, so it looks like it looks, at least on the viewfinder, as I'm appearing in silhouette. But looks like this could be your lucky day. Okay. Right now, the observant among you may have noticed that the Simpsons episode that was about the Mars mission has disappeared. I didn't take it down. YouTube took it down because apparently there was a copyright infringement. So I thought I'd just do another quick video to just go over the points that were excuse me, that were highlighted in this Simpsons episode. Now, I read I think it was a tweet by Baz Lansdorp that said he was proud to be associated with that episode of The Simpsons, and I'm fairly sure that he never actually watched it. At that point, he never actually watched it, because I think he just read a post by Oscar on the Facebook page. We all know which one that is. Where Oscar is saying Lisa Simpson has applied to Mars 1. Well, in fact, Lisa Simpson hadn't applied to Mars 1. Mars 1 didn't get a mention by name at all. The company in the Simpsons episode was Exploration Inc. But I think a lot of the people that are involved, especially the candidates that are involved in this Mars 1, will psychologically put Mars 1 in anything Mars related. They probably do it subconsciously, but I think the people that wrote that particular episode of The Simpsons were actually having a bit of a dig at Mars 1. I don't think it was complimentary to Mars 1 in any way, shape or form. Now, I've made a couple of notes here. I couldn't find the notes that I made for the actual video. It doesn't really matter because that was more to do with the timings of where these were on the video. But the themes in the video, the Simpsons episode, were, so remember, this is a one-way trip to Mars. It's a company that wants to establish a Mars colony. It's called Exploration Inc. So Lisa replies, and what's his name? I don't watch The Simpsons. Homer and Marge are discussing it in the kitchen, and Homer says, "Don't to Marge. Don't worry. Lisa isn't going to Mars. It's just a little girl's fantasy." So that's the writers of The Simpsons saying, it's not going to happen. It's a fantasy. The second thing was, now I can't remember the order these are in. I haven't watched the episode again. I'm not that interested in it. Principal Skinner applies, and because he wants to be immortalized. He said they offer immortality, and that's a theme that I've seen from from members of the Mars 100. A couple spring to mind immediately. I won't name them, but you know who you are. They want some sort of legacy. One certainly wants some sort of legacy, desperate for some sort of legacy, and she's actually used the word immortal and or immortalized. I can't remember which now. And she's absolutely convinced that if she gets to go to Mars, she's going to be the first to step on the planet. It doesn't occur to her that she might not be the first. It's quite funny, really. So they're narcissistic. They want to be immortalized. Statue in the square stuff. It's really quite funny. So that's the second theme in the in that particular episode of The Simpsons. People that apply for Mars 1 are narcissistic. The third point was, and I say I might have got these in the wrong order. Excuse me. The types of people that apply, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was something like teachers' pets, bookworms, unloved middle children, something like that. Another theme was that they had to bring the launch forward. and they had the panel of astronauts sitting there, and each they're all saying, "Oh, really? Actually, I've just remembered. You know, I'm a recovering alcoholic. Well, I wanted to go eventually, and so you know, the theme there is that none of the people that have applied would actually go if they said they were going to go tomorrow." The launch, of course, the rocket didn't take off, and the guys are saying, "Oh well, you know." So Homer says to them, "Why go through all this if it's just all a fake?" Now I think they're being kind there. I think I know what the writers of The Simpsons had in mind, but you know, being a proper company, they're probably a little bit wary to, and they've probably got money too, so they might be a little bit wary of using words like fraud or you know, scam. But basically, Homer says, "Why is it? Why did you go through all this if it's just a fake?" And they say, "Well, you know, we thought that it's okay to do this as long as it inspires the next generation to actually go and do it." Now, I think that's the people that write The Simpsons take on what's going to happen. You know, when it all falls in a heap, we're going to see the Mars One people standing up. Actually, probably won't. They'll probably just fade into obscurity. They probably won't have the intestinal fortitude to stand up and say, "Sorry, guys." They'll say, "Sorry, you know, we did our best." Actually, they might do. It won't be true, but in my opinion. But they'll stand up and they'll say, "Well, we tried it. We tried our best, but we can't do it." You know, but at least we've inspired NASA and others to, you know, people that could actually do it, to think about it and actually go and do it. And that'll be that's the theme in the episode. You know, that's what they'll do when it all falls in a heap. That'll be the line they take. The last theme in The Simpsons is they're driving off over the horizon, the two perps that set up Exploration Inc. It's interesting that there's two of them. And they're in their Volkswagen Beetle covered in sponsorship stickers, and they're dreaming up their next harebrained scheme. And you know, I'm surprised they didn't actually mention generating baseload power with tethered gliders, because that really is quite funny. That would have been funnier than the whole episode. And I saw Andy Thomas, a real astronaut who's from Australia, actually. Actually, no, I didn't see him. I saw him on the internet, and he apparently was saying that the budget is laughable. They really got no idea how to do it. And I think the wording of his comment could have been a little better, because he then went on to say that you know, a one-way trip to Mars is not morally defensible. And I think what he actually meant to say was nothing that Mars One are doing is morally defensible. And I think perhaps that's what he meant. But maybe if you make another comment, Andy, you could clarify that for us if you ever get to see this video. I mean, it had 41 views, the one that got taken down, so you never know. There is a seething mass of Occam's Razor YouTube channel followers out there. I think that's about it. How are we doing for time? That's 8 minutes 36. Now, the original video, the one that was taken down by YouTube, was 17 minutes and something long, but that did include quite a few clips from the Simpsons episodes, so that probably makes up the other, you know, 9 minutes or whatever. Would have been just the 3 or 4 clips that I actually showed. They're probably a couple of minutes long. So I think that's the salient points from the comments that I made about that Simpsons episode. So no mention whatsoever of Mars One. I would say that it was aimed at Mars One, but not in a favourable way. So I haven't actually looked to see if Baz has taken down his tweet to say where he says he's proud of that Simpsons episode, but I don't know whether I'll bother or not, to be perfectly honest. Okay, well that's another couple of bobs worth from Occam's Razor here in Perth, Australia, where it's surprisingly overcast today. Even though it's overcast, the light levels are such that the camera's actually whited out the view of the city in the background. All right, well, thanks for watching, as always, and perhaps I'll catch you again.